Oh, what is the upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXGamerCast. We're on episode 80 of my little gaming show where once a week I just have to talk about video games. Old video games from my past, new video games that I'm playing today. It doesn't matter. Video games. And today we are going into a retro backlog episode. Probably already read the title, but today I am talking about the divisive Super Mario Sunshine, released on the GameCube in like 2003, I think it was. And yeah, so I have never played this game before. I will admit, the GameCube as a whole, I pretty much missed out on damn near completely. I maybe played a GameCube under 10 times in my life, and I was never really a big fan of it, and trying to go back and play some of the GameCube games, it's rather difficult. It's a very expensive console to try and collect for, and trying to get your hands on any of those old games, very difficult. They're slowly starting to re-release some of these games now on the Switch, and Sunshine being one of those. I played this on the 3D All-Star Collection. That is a controversy in that of itself. A collection of 3D Mario games that was only for sale for like 6 months or something. I remember vividly not buying it during the period where you were able to buy it, and then like the week it was not for sale anymore, I chickened out, went out and looking for it, and I just happened to get very lucky, found one, and there you go. And the game has, I think, at least doubled in price since the day that I purchased it for regular price. So there is that. But yeah, never played Mario Sunshine before. I am very aware of Mario Sunshine. I know about all the problems with this game. I've watched a playthrough of most of this game way back in the day. If anyone remembers Chugga Conroy, I think he's still going pretty strong on YouTube, but I used to be big into Chugga Conroy, Nintendo Capri Sun, all those guys, Proton John, and I would watch a lot of Chugga Conroy Let's Plays, and Super Mario Sunshine was one, but I never played the game. And people that may have been following around with this podcast may know that I'm not the biggest Mario fan out there. I think a lot of the games are really good, but some of them are just super overrated, and in that of a whole, I think Mario is a little bit overrated, but I'm doing my due diligence. I'm going back and playing through all the games that I didn't get to finish as a kid, and I'm figuring it out if I do or don't like Mario. And I will admit, Sunshine, definitely, I got some opinions about Mario Sunshine. But before we dive into that, let's talk about what I have been up to over the last week or so, as I encourage you, the listener, the viewer, let me know what you've been up to over the last week or however long. What games are you playing? What movies have you seen recently? And what TV shows are you binging right now? There's so many damn freaking things out there, I can't keep my finger on all the pulses, so I am super open to recommendations. And here we go. What have I been up to over the last week? Well, I got a movie in this week, y'all, thankfully, and that movie was The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This has been on my list for a while now, a Nicolas Cage movie, and what drew me to this one is that it's one of those movies that's like in the real world. Like, this is a movie about Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage, living in the life of Nicolas Cage, but some absolutely crazy shit ensues, and it was an awesome movie. I really enjoyed this. Pedro Pascal, I love this guy. He is in so much stuff that I love right now, and he absolutely kills it in this movie. He's not playing Pedro himself in the movie. He's like this super big Nicolas Cage fan who just happens to be like helping / running this like bad Mexican cartel or some shit like that. Regardless, it's a movie with a little bit of everything. It's super clever and smart the way that they wrote the movie. Like, there's a lot of good, funny jokes. Nicolas Cage just rips into himself. There's a great thing with Nicolas Cage having, like, inner monologues with, like, Nicolas Cage of the 90s, like, the really over-the-top crazy guy, and then, like, him of today a little bit more, like, relaxed, but it was an awesome movie. I really enjoyed it. It had the laughs, it had action, it had a little bit of everything. My favorite scene by far, there's a drug scene, and in any movie, the drug scene's probably going to be my favorite, but they do some drugs, and some fucking hilarious shit goes down. It was awesome. The chemistry between Nicolas Cage and Pedro was awesome, very cute, great bromance, and yeah, I really recommend this movie. Check it out. I'll hit it with an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed that. Speaking of enjoyed, some TV shows that I got into this week. This one, a little bit out of nowhere, but Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Didn't expect to watch this. It was on my list, but high on mushrooms again. I was like, I need a visual stimuli, so I was like, yo, Scott Pilgrim, it's got a great visual style, and it's music. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Watched the whole thing in one sitting. It was outstanding. Very funny. I watched the original, like the movie back in the day, and I was very let down with that movie. There was a lot of hype around it, and it was just like, it was a fine movie. It just didn't live up to the hype for me. But this show, oh my goodness, the animation, out of control. So fucking good, so cute, so, the style. It's just oozing with this style. The animation makes me laugh. All the funny, goofy faces that they're making, it's outstanding, and it is so much better than the movie. Like, it just works so much better with animation. It still has all the original, like, voice cast. Like, it's got Michael Cera, it's got all the people that were in the original movie, and yeah, man, I just binge watched the whole entire thing. Very easy to watch, very enjoyable. Highly recommend this show. Probably my favorite show that I've watched so far this year. Very awesome. I'm probably going to rewatch it. It's just so easy to rewatch. Short episodes. The animation is just king. It's so freaking good. I love it. So check that one out. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Pretty sure that's on Netflix. But yeah, check that one out. It was awesome. My wife and I finished off the first season of Umbrella Chronicles. We're into season 2 now. Awesome show as well. Like, goddamn, this show is really good. Looks great, and yeah, I like the story. This, like, incoming apocalypse, and they're trying to figure it out, and they all have these, like, unique powers, and the cast of characters is really good. Goddamn, it's Cha-Cha and Hazel. Oh my god, those two are fucking outstanding. They're like these two, I don't know, kind of like FBI undercover agents, and oh my god, they're so good. Hazel especially, I love that guy. Probably my favorite guy in the whole entire show. But check out Umbrella Academy. I hadn't heard a damn thing about it, and we just took a shot on it, and it's been awesome. 3 seasons of it available now. The 4th and final season is incoming this summer, I do believe. So yeah, I'm in. I like the show a lot. And been still watching a few episodes here and there of Vox Machina. I mean, I think it's safe to say now that, like, I'm kind of putting at this show. I'm not in love with it. It's not a bad show. It's just a show that's, you know, if I have some extra time on the side, I'm like, oh, I'll pop a couple episodes of that on. It's not an incredible story that I have to use a lot of brain power to follow along with. It's just simple, crude, fun, and it's an enjoyable show to watch on the side. And that's all the shows I've been watching. Let's talk about some video games I've been playing. Obviously, I played a lot of Mario Sunshine over the last week, trying to get that one finished, and I enjoyed playing it, but also hated playing it at the same time. Don't worry, we'll get into it, but yeah, played some Mario Sunshine this week, and almost dove right into Mario Galaxy. Like, I still had the Mario itch after finishing off Sunshine, and I almost went into Galaxy, but I was like, I'll wait a little bit. So instead of that, I dove into Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. So this is a little bit random, but it's been on my list forever and ever and ever. Remember the whole, like, Revengeance marketing campaign and, like, making up this new word, putting it in the dictionary, crazy shit. But this game always kind of scared me away a little bit because I heard how difficult it was, but, you know, I've been playing video games for like 25 years now. I think I could handle myself, and I shouldn't shy away from the hard games. So I just fucking bit the bullet. It's been on my Xbox for years. I was like, let's play this bitch. Got into it, and wow, this game is melting my face off. This is fucking awesome. Oh my goodness, I wish I played it earlier. Crazy, over-the-top hack-and-slash type of game, kind of like Bayonetta, but you're playing as Raiden, and not fucking loser Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2. You're playing badass cyborg ninja Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 4, and wow, I mean, I'm blown away. I'm kind of, I don't know if I will end up reviewing this game. I have, like, I'm building it right now, but I've only played a couple of hours. It's not a very long game, I hear, but it's just over-the-top craziness. It is difficult, I will admit. The second boss was whooping my ass, and I honestly thought I was going to put it down, but I was like, nah, this, I'm just intrigued. Like, this is so over the top, it's so bananas, and the combat is incredibly fun. Like, this, you'll get this, like, slash kind of it'll, like, go slow, and you can just, like, cut up enemies any way you want. You can slice them and dice them in any fucking degree and angle, and they will just slice like butter, and it is so fucking satisfying. I am over the moon with this. Gonna keep playing it, even if it's kicking my ass. There was a moment there during that boss fight, I was like, yo, I don't think I can do this shit. Powered through, kept going, and I'm having a blast with it. So, potential Metal Gear Rising review incoming. I'm piecing it together, but holy shit, don't miss out on that game if you haven't played it before. Very crazy. And I have been playing Persona 3 Reload, of course, getting very close to the end now, I think. Persona games are a little hard to judge time-wise. Like, I looked up online, hey, you could beat this game in 57 hours. I don't know how they did that. I don't think that's possible. I'm cracked at I'm almost at 100 hours now. I am kind of in the back part of the game now. I'm waiting for, like, the main thing is over, but there's like something left, so I'm at that point in the game, feeling very confident that I should have it finished off for a modern review for the next episode, so that should be incoming, but still highly enjoying myself and Persona. And my wife and I, we played a little bit more of Lego Star Wars, the Super Saga series, or whatever the hell. It's Lego Star Wars, it's super solid, it's fairly fun. Way more fun if you're playing it with someone you like. I happen to like my wife, so we're having a good time playing Star Wars. And that's everything I have been up to over the last week or so. Again, let me know what y'all have been up to, and here we go, everybody. It is my turn to talk about Super Mario Sunshine. Oh boy, here we go. Super Mario Sunshine. I'm ripping this Band-Aid off right now. This game pissed me off. Oh man, I haven't been this angry with a video game in a hot minute. I tend to not play video games that I know will make me angry, and like I said, I know about this game. I know I know the problems of this game. I know a little history lesson here. Mostly, shout out to the homie Billy who kind of filled me in on some things about Super Mario Sunshine. But the story goes is that Nintendo fans, were pissed off because Luigi's Mansion was the first game that they released on the GameCube instead of your traditional Mario game. We got a Luigi game instead. Luigi's Mansion, very good video game, but it wasn't what people wanted, so the pressure to release a 3D Mario game increased a little bit, and they released Mario Sunshine maybe a little bit earlier than they wanted to, so that may be some of the reasonings why the game is not up to Nintendo standards, in my opinion. Now, I will address that people that grew up with this game, kids that had the GameCube growing up and had this game when it came out, you probably liked this game. You probably loved this game. This might be one of your favorite Mario games. Very similar situation to Super Mario 64. If you grew up on that game, you probably love it. It's probably one of your favorite games of all time. But for the people that didn't grow up with it, that found it later in life, it's a rough video game. And the homie Billy, he even admitted that. He's like, yo, man, you're probably not going to like it. Like, he's like, I love it, but I grew up on it. So, you're going to love things for its not perfections. You're going to have that. So, with me, like I said, did not grow up with Sunshine. So, this game, it does not have any nostalgia with me. It's not getting any of those bonus points. I am fucking going at this game gloves off. So, if you love this game, I'm sorry. So let's just get in there. Didn't really like this game, but let's kind of break down the concept of Mario Sunshine, because this is their second big foray into the 3D gaming. Now, they had their first try on Nintendo 64, I give that game a pass. Like, I know it's not perfect, but it was one of the first 3D platformers ever made. Didn't age gracefully, but I have a ton of respect for Super Mario 64. Now, when it comes to GameCube, you guys have had years. There's been tons of other 3D platformers. Things have changed, and yeah, so there is not going to be a lot of leniency with this. So here's the concept. You are Mario, of course, and you are going on a nice tropical vacation. You start in this game on an airplane, and probably the most alarming thing you'll notice very early in this game is that there's voice acting, and the voice acting is terrible. Oh my goodness. Peach sounds like she's been in a coma for 4 years and is just waking up and has no idea what is going on around her at any time, and that is what she sounds like through the entire game. Now, thankfully, she only delivers maybe 4 lines of dialogue, and most of that is Mario. It's like, are you okay? Are you physically and mentally okay, Peach? But she sounds terrible. Mario's Mario, you know, it's fine, it's wahoo and all that stuff. He does the thing, it's okay. I don't think he talks all that much. But that was big news for people back then. Like, we had not heard Peach speak. We do not hear the fucking Toad speak. We don't hear any of that. So that was something. Now, that didn't hit me very much other than like, whoof, that is some rough voice acting. So yeah, you're starting out in that airplane, so you're going on your beach vacation, and then you get there and like these Pianta people, these new people, they're not happy with you, and apparently there's been a Mario imposter that has been messing up their islands with graffiti and just messing up everything, and you get mistaken as the imposter, and they charge you with having to clean up the whole entire island of Delfino. I think that's what it's called, but yeah, so you show up, they're like, yeah, you can't leave until it's all clean, and then they give you Flood. So Flood is kind of their big new gameplay mechanic. So the game is very focused around water, and Flood is your new kind of water mechanic. So it shoots out water, it's gonna help you clean up the city, you can spray walls and clean up the gunk and all that stuff. You can use it for platforming, it'll help you boost up your jumps a little bit, and it's like kind of this, I kind of like Flood, like the character, a little robot dude, like, hello Mario, I would like to help you clean up the city kind of deal. That's fine with me. It's not super offensive or anything, and yes, I know people fucking hate Flood. I understand that, and a lot of people say, like, hey, if you just remove Flood out of the game, you'd have a decent Mario game here. I disagree, but, yeah, I mean, the Flood stuff, it's not great. They definitely didn't nail it fully. There's some really cool ideas that they do have used with it throughout the game, but there's a lot of it is just like, what are we doing? There's not a whole lot of creativity used with Flood. But yeah, that's basically the very minimal story that all Mario games have. We're not going to have a whole lot of crazy stuff. Peach eventually gets taken away, and I think this is the introduction of, I guess, spoiler alert, if you're worried about spoilers for Mario games. This imposter Mario turns out to be Bowser Jr. I think this is the first time we see Bowser Jr. Now, I'm probably wrong. I'm not a big Mario mark. I don't know everything about it, but he's here. Also horrifically voice acted, super annoying, and I know people don't really like the character of Bowser Jr., and I can understand that. He's kind of a whiny baby, like, yeah, it's not ideal, but I think he looks cool. Like, I like the design of little Bowser Jr., like, he's kind of cute and funny looking, but yeah, his whole reasoning for doing this is pretty lame, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, that's like your basic concept of the game. Now you're taking place, we'll slide into like the graphical area now of this. And this is where probably the stronger suits of the game. It's still a nice looking video game. I wasn't super blown away or anything. I've said that GameCube is one of the better looking systems in terms of longevity. I feel like a lot of their games still look very, very good today, and they clean up very nicely. Sunshine also I felt cleaned up pretty nicely, but I think there's other games that look better. But there's some really impressive stuff here with what Sunshine was doing at the time, especially with the water. I mean, the water looks awesome. I can't tell. Now, again, I'm not playing the original. I don't know how cleaned up I don't think they did a whole lot of anything, honestly, with the 3D All-Stars collection. I feel like that is a pretty known thing that they just kind of threw it all in there, slightly updated the controls a little bit. But it still looks good. It's very, very colorful, very bright and sunny. Like, they nailed that summer beach vacation vibe. Like, it absolutely nails that. The colors are fantastic. The art style is great, as always. It's an art style that's going to hold its own for a very long time, and is obviously a substantial upgrade over Mario 64. Things aren't as blocky. Things are more smooth. It's not perfect, but it's much more smooth. Mario looks way better than he did in 64. The people still don't look great. They're still a little bit blocky, but again, it's a game from 2003. I'm not going to rag on it that much, but it still looks really good today. And like I said, especially the water effects were very impressive to me. It looks like water, it moves around like water, and it has like reflections on the water, which again, don't know if they updated that, but for 2003's sake, that's pretty fucking impressive what the water looks like and is doing. And I really like the hub world. So most Mario games, like in Mario 64, you kind of had Peach's castle and like the field around it. That's kind of like your hub world in 64, and in this one you have Delfino Plaza, which is nice. I really like Delfino Plaza. It's fairly big. It's not like so big, but it's like a little town, and it's got all these little nooks and crannies in it. You can climb up on the roofs and everything. They got little shines and stuff. That's obviously the whole goal of the game. You're going around cleaning up the town and collecting shines. Yeah, shines instead, stars, shines, whatever the fuck. You're collecting stars in Mario. You got to collect so many stars to go fight Bowser. Pretty standard Mario stuff right here, and it's using the older style of Mario. It's not like Mario Odyssey, obviously, where you kind of just go into these open world levels and you just go and capture stars as often as you want. In Sunshine, it's like level by level. You go up to a thing, it'll take you into the world, very similar to 64. You go up to the picture frames, it'll suck you into the picture. Very similar to in Sunshine. You go up to an area, you get pulled into the level, and then you go through it star by star, shine by shine. And each shine is like a different level within the world kind of deal, which I actually really like. Like, as you're progressing through the shines in the level, like, the world is changing inside. Like, you're cleaning it up a little bit, or people are over here now, or over here there's this going on. So that was pretty cool. I did enjoy that. Now, me being like a current Mario player, it's harder to go back to that hub style where you have to go into the world, pick the star, enter the level, go find it, and then come back out, pick the world again, pick the star, go in, and then go do it. It's that has changed to the current Mario formula. So it's a little, not bad or anything to go back to that style, but you're just like, oh yeah, things have changed in the current Mario formula, but I didn't hate it. It's very simple. It's like, all right, I'm doing this world, star 1, 2, I think there's 8 stars in every world. I pretty much did all of them. I'll just say I finished with 69 stars. Oh, fuck yeah. I actually finished with 68, but I went back in, collected one more shine so I can have 69, so I can say this little funny sentence right here. So there you go. I only needed to get 69 shines to finish off the game. I got more than I needed, I do believe. I don't know how many you actually need to go fight Bowser for the final fight. But yeah, you just go through. I think there's, I don't know, 6 or 7 worlds, something like that. Probably 8, the standard amount of worlds that they have. But yeah, back to the graphics. Like I said, Delfino, good little hub world. I like there's a few of the worlds that I really like. I think it's Pianta Park or something like that. It's or Penna Island. That is the one where it's just a theme park. You get shot out of a cannon, you get sent to this other island, and it's just a nice theme park with a roller coaster and the boats that do the spins and the flips and shit. I love that. It's a very Generally whenever there's a theme park theme in a video game, that's going to be people's like favorite levels and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously that world was very, very cool to see. And another cool thing about Sunshine is like when you're in Delfino and you're like looking around the island stuff, you could see like Penna Island in the distance. You could see the theme park out there. So that's really cool. And I was like, when I first started, I was like, oh, I wonder if that is a place I'm actually going to go to later, and it was. So that was pretty fucking killer. And the other worlds, they have a decent variety, still playing into that summer beach vacation vibe. So obviously you're going to a beach. There's like a hotel area, which was also really cool because it's kind of like evening time, kind of dusk, so the sun is setting. It's a different vibe, and yeah, that one was really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a good looking game. It's a very still good looking game, and I enjoy it. So we'll move on now to the music of the game. We kind of already talked about the voice acting and how bad it is. It is truly bad, but the music is not. I really like the music. That's probably like 1A, 1B, the two strongest suits of this game. The graphics and the music. Really like the music, man. Like Delfino Plaza, Bianco Hills, like, oh fuck yeah, the music is slapping in Mario Sunshine. Let's have a little listen of some of the music out of that. Yeah. Like the music in Super Mario Sunshine. Absolutely fantastic. So, now that we've gotten over some of the things that I liked about the game, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of Super Mario Sunshine. We'll talk about the gameplay, and we'll talk about my horrific moments that I had to deal with playing through this fucking game that I definitely don't hate. So we'll get in there right now with the controls of this game. It is not very far off from what Super Mario 64 is doing. You get a lot of the same jumps. You get the triple jump. But you do get some new jumps in this one. So obviously you have Flood. We talked about Flood. So Flood has a couple of different modes. It has like your standard spraying mode where you can just spray water out. You can spray water out in any direction that you want, up, down, left, right, all that good shit. And then you get like a jetpack situation where it'll very slowly lift you up into the air. It can help you get up to higher platforms, but again, it doesn't take you up very high, and it is very, very slow and only lasts for a moment, and you do have to refill the water pack if it does run out. It takes quite a lot of water for it to run out, and there's water sources generally all over the place for you to refill it. That wasn't really a problem that I was experiencing throughout the game. But the jumping, man, holy fuck. So back to the jumping, you got your side jump, very classic to Mario. You quickly left, right, the thing. He does a nice side jump. There's, I think, a backflip jump. The one thing that I really like about this game that I don't recall in any of the other ones is like the belly slide or dive that he is doing in this game. You can sit there, you could just slide across the ground, and that is like the way to get around in this game quickly, just sliding all over the place. And maybe one of the more satisfying things in this game is the first world, I think it's Bianco Hills, and you slide down the little water hill, and you just fucking go, man. You're just fucking flying all over the place. Now, it doesn't work going uphill. That's fine, physics are in consideration with these games, so yeah, you can't really slide up the hill that well, but I did like the slide. That was fun. Definitely helped me getting around the world a lot faster than I would normally would have. The only thing that sucks is like you slide into something, you slide into a wall, then you gotta go through he hits the wall, I'm down, and it takes him fucking forever to get back up onto his feet. It's like, holy shit, like I want the game to feel snappy and quick, but it's like, it really drives home, like, oh, you hit a wall there. It's like, oh my god, just let me get the fuck back up. So you have the flood, the jumps. I have a really big problem with the jumping in this game, just standard jumping. Rather, Mario's not doing the jump. It's like you have to, there's also one other jump. If you like quickly spin the analog stick, Mario will do like this spinning jump, which is chaotic to try and control him doing that jump. And that's the problem. You got the 4 different jumps kind of map to a certain way that you're moving the analog stick, and it makes for a hectic gameplay. Sometimes he's doing jumps I'm not telling him to do. Sometimes he won't fucking jump at all. I can't tell you how many times I've just walked off the edge because I'm a little bit old school when it comes to platforming, and I've played some bad platformers where they make the jump. You got to get as close to that edge as possible, so that's like ingrained into me. And like 50% of the time, man, he just wouldn't jump. I waited too long, I got way too close to the edge, and I would just fall off and die. So, and let's just rip this Band-Aid off right now. I'm terrible. So bad. Possibly the worst Mario player of all time. I am bad. Very bad at this game. Now, how many game overs did I have? Oh, you better believe I took track. I tracked all my game overs, all 23 game overs that I experienced. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, I'm very bad. But I would say half of those were not my fault. Half of them are the horrific jumping controls, super inconsistent jumping controls, and the terrible camera that is still terrible. It's almost just as bad as it was in 64. It gets caught on walls. It won't go behind you. If there's like a legitimate wall, it won't just like squeeze in behind you. It will not do that. You're fighting this fucking camera throughout most of the game. Actually, I will give it a little bit of a lean. It's a little bit better than 64. Just a little bit. But from, 1996 Mario 64 came out, and then this one, 2003, you had all those years to fix the camera, and it still sucks. The camera is ass. So, you're dealing with all that crap. You got this inconsistent jumping problem, which is just, oh my god, man. Just basically, like, this is the big sticking point of the game. The controls in this game are ass. They're fucking bad. I don't care. Like, people, you can't say that the controls in this game are good. I was fighting the controls the whole entire game, and yes, part of it is I am terrible at this game, but the other half is it's just not that well made. So I'll try my best to explain, so what this game is truly lacking is that Nintendo polish. What do I mean by Nintendo polish? Well, it's very difficult to explain what that is because Nintendo polish is just all these little things that you may not be noticing, but man, was I ever noticing it. I mean, little small things as simple as like jumps. I mean, simple jumps, like in a well-made Mario game, like Odyssey, for example. Jumps just seem to be made perfectly. Things are placed in the exact right area. It knows exactly how far you're going to be jumping, and it's going to have this thing right in the right area for you. And I feel like in Sunshine, they didn't quite get to optimize the location of all the things. They didn't optimize all the jumps. Like, sometimes jumps, you're just like, it's so not smooth. Oh man, there's just so much that frustrates me about this game that's so hard to explain other than, to just wrap it all in bad controls. But I think it's not just bad controls. I think it's also bad level design. I think the level design in this game is fucking tedious as all holy hell. And for me to dread platforming in a Mario game, that's not good. And whenever I would get to a level where it's like, hey, climb this big structure, I'm like, oh no, here I go. And all those levels, in fact, where you're going up a big thing, climbing up something, you make one mistake, you're going all the way back down to the bottom, and like I said, a lot of that is bad controls. The camera wasn't lined up the way I wanted it to be. Mario didn't do the fucking jump that I wanted him to do, it's just insane. Like, I just wanted to do a simple jump, and he does a big spinning jump, and now I'm fucking panicking left to right, and I'm down. I'm all the way back down to the bottom. Got to start all over again, and so many of the levels felt like they were built like that. If I make one tiny mistake because your bad level design or your poor control system makes me fall off this little fucking platform that I could barely see what I'm landing on, and yeah, I have to start all over again. And so much of that, I was like, this is so fucking tedious right now. Like, gotta do it all over again, and get up here and fall off of that, and this should be placed over here, this shouldn't be here, and don't even get me started on the climbing controls. Oh my god. I don't know what is wrong with my brain, but I, for the longest time, could not process the controls for climbing, because in the climbing, there's a different button for jumping upward through a cage. There's a different button for hitting an enemy off of the cage, and I would keep mixing them up, and I would end up falling off of the fucking cage, or jumping off it completely, or it was infuriating, the jumping in this game, and the climbing, and the controls. I mean, it always boils back down, the controls are fucking god-awful, and I cannot believe that people genuinely think this is a good video game. I just can't get behind it when the controls are this bad. Now, there is one thing that I actually do like about, not necessarily the level design or anything like that, but the blue coins. I really like the blue coins in Mario Sunshine. Blue coins, you'll find them hidden all throughout the worlds. Delfino, they're all over the place. Most of them, you'll just be going around and you'll see like a red M graffiti on the wall. You spray it and it'll rather pop out a blue coin. You collect them. For every 10 blue coins you collect, you can trade it in for a shine. So that's cool. But a lot of them are like secret ones, are little mini challenges. So one it'll be like an X on the wall. You'll spray it, and then a blue coin will pop out in another area, and then you have to race over, try and find it, and get to it fast enough, and then you could do the vice versa and go to the other side. So those are cool. I really like the blue coins. Some of them are really interesting, like, for example, in Delfino Plaza, there's like little birds that flying around the little town and stuff, and some of them are green, and I noticed like, oh, some of them are blue, and I shot the blue ones with water, and boom, a blue coin popped out. So I found the blue coins rather satisfying and tricky. Some of them are very tricky when you have to try and figure out like, fuck, how do I get all the way over here? Like, there was one I just couldn't figure out. I don't remember what level it is, but you have to like cross a whole body of water and get to the other side. And I'm trying to figure it out, like, I'm getting on the boat, and I'm trying to fucking take the boat all the way to the other, I'm just not fast enough, but those were fun little challenges, so I like the blue coins. Those were neat and inoffensive, and most of them didn't make me very angry, like the moment-to-moment gameplay in general of Sunshine. So, with that being said, let's kind of just go through the worlds, world by world. I'll spend a little bit of time on each or most of the worlds, and we'll talk about the things that frustrated me the most throughout this game. So and this game did not take long to get me raging. I think within the first hour, I was already like, oh my god, like, are we serious with this? And I was just hating this game all through. I'd sit there and play it, and I was like, I hate this game, I fucking hate this game, I can't believe I'm playing this game, I hate it. But for some reason, I kept coming back. There's that Mario charm, there's something kept pulling me back to this game, even though I knew I was gonna have a bad fucking time. And that bad time started right in Bianco Hills, and I was already raging, trying to collect the fucking red coins in there, and this is the one where you're bouncing on the ropes, and those ropes are a fucking nightmare in that of themselves. This right here, this one shine right here is kind of an example of like the level design just not being right, not being optimized correctly. Like, the jumps you're making here just aren't right. They're a little bit too far. Some things are a little bit too high. It's just a very awkward, very annoying. The camera's fighting you the whole time. You're trying to make these fucking jumps upward into the sky, landing on these other little ropes that you can barely see. And yeah, man, I was raging, like, trying to get up onto the ropes all the time because I consistently kept falling off. And, you know, at this point, I'm still learning the controls, trying to get used to it. And I'm trying to figure out these fucking jumps, and the last jump I kept missing so many freaking times. I was raging, bro. Like, I was just raging at how difficult they're making such simple jumps in the game. Like, I just feel like this shit wasn't happening, and like Galaxy and Odyssey, like, it's just it wasn't clean. It just did not feel clean. It was infuriating. And the other one that got me really mad was the second PD Piranha fight, when he's flying around and you have to like climb up and shoot him in the air and get him down, and then you gotta fight it. But I will say the boss fights, for the most part, in Sunshine were pretty good. The PD Piranha fight is okay. Like, a lot of they're kind of similar. Like, there'll be like these piranha plants that come out, and they'll like shoot goop around. You gotta shoot water in their mouths when it opens. It's okay. It's not awful, but fucking trying to track this thing down as it's flying in the air, and I can't get the camera. Like, you have to press a different button to get the camera so he can look around freely, and like, it was just a pain in the ass. You have enemies coming at you through the goop, and I'm just trying to look up and figure out where the fuck it is to shoot it down. Eventually I figured it out, but that fight had me going absolutely fucking bananas. For the most part, Bianco Hills was okay. As a level, it was fine, but yeah, a lot of the levels were just tedious and annoying. Like, I think there was maybe, like 3 or 4 stars where I was like, oh, that's actually pretty fun. That was okay. A lot of them I was just like, oh, at the end of it, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, oh, that was so stressful, and just, oh, a challenge, like an unnecessary challenge, not a fun challenge. And then we move on to Rico Harbor. God damn it. I will say that riding the bloopers, that was pretty fun. Inoffensive, fairly fun. The bloopers, kind of each like pick a color, and they all kind of have their different handling styles. That was alright. You know, it was challenging in the right way. It was like, okay, this one's just kind of harder to control. It's going really fast. So that one I didn't mind having to retry it a few times. The controls were pretty good. And that one, you're just going around collecting red coins and trying not to run into anything. The only thing that pissed me off about that one is, like, you go around, you collect the 8 red coins or whatever, and the squid is still going. And it's like, all right, you come collect your star, and you gotta, like, fucking get all the way back there while not hitting anything, and you have to, like, slide into it properly. And you know I missed it, like, 4 times. So I'm like, fuck, and it's just, like, flying around, like, just slide into the stupid goddamn shine. I'm telling you, y'all, there wasn't one shine that didn't give me fucking problems in this game. It was infuriating. Other things. Climbing the huge sketchy structure. What the fuck, man? That was so fucking annoying. That was a lot of the climbing controls. I just don't know why they had the controls all over the place for the jumping and the hitting and the climbing and what makes you go down, what makes you go up. For some reason, my brain just was not processing the climbing controls in this fucking game, and they were driving me freaking nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. And it was so tedious. It was like this maze of cages up there, and you're trying to fucking get through and figure out which one to get to the other side, and you know I fell off like a dozen times, had to slowly swim all the way back to the island and go through all of that shitty cage platforming all over again. And that's just the basis for most of the levels. You fuck up once, you're gonna go through the long, tedious haul to get all the way back. It reminds me of, like, a Demon Souls, Dark Souls, the long trek back to try to fight the boss again. It's like that, but times 10. It's fucking ridiculous. What else pissed me off? Yoshi Fruit Adventure. What the literal shit was that about? You have to climb on this fucking thing, which is a pain in the ass to get on in the first place, and then you have to bounce on it and just hope to God that it shoots out the fucking durian fruit you need. And oh god, it's just gonna shoot out all this other random fruit. And of course, the durian is the only fruit in the game you can't pick up. You gotta kick it around with it like a fucking soccer ball, and its physics are random as shit, makes no sense, and you gotta hope to God that it lands on the fucking Yoshi, and then you can hopefully you know that, oh, you got to change the Yoshi's color so that its juice shoots out and makes the platforms do the thing that you need. It's fucking asinine. I couldn't believe that star. Like, I was looking it up, and yeah, it was all over the forums on the internet. People like, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit. I hate this game. And yeah, man, it was extremely tedious. And I guess now that I mentioned Yoshi's in this game. Yay, that's great. A little annoying, like, to even get the Yoshi, you have to find a fruit. You'll see the egg or whatever. It's like, all right, I need a banana. I need a fucking pineapple. I need whatever. And you got to go find it, bring it to him, and then he'll fucking eat it, and then you can ride around the Yoshi. It's okay. It's not as good as Galaxy 2. Yoshi can't go in the water. If you touch the water, he's fucking dead, and you got to go through all of it all over again. And also, you know, this game is based on water, so there's water everywhere. There's a lot of places that Yoshi can't go. So yeah, Yoshi wasn't as awesome as I was hoping. So we're done there with Rico Harbor. Not a lot of awesomeness there. Rico Harbor can actually go fuck itself. And then we get to Chalato Beach, where I proceeded to die at least 1,000 times trying to fly on that stupid frickin' sunbird. And so many of these levels kind of like Dark Souls or Demon Souls, any of those games. When you're stuck on a boss and that boss kicked your ass 15 times, but when you finally beat it, you have it. You're like, I don't know why that was so hard. Now that I have it, it's so simple. And I had that with with a lot of levels, actually, where I'm like, I don't know why that was so hard, particularly the floodless levels. We'll talk about that right now. So a lot of people, they're like, all right, so you'll have these levels in there where they take the flood away from you. You don't have access to your flood. You can't use flood, and it's just kind of your standard Mario platforming level. And people a lot of the time are like, oh, if it was just this would be great. And I mean, it would be better. It still wouldn't be a good Mario game because the controls suck. And yeah, those levels gave me a lot of problems because I'm so bad at platforming in this game. And whenever I got through those levels, I was like, I don't know why I died 18 times on this. That was so easy. But the controls are in my head. They're just, man, I'm telling you. I think it was like one of the first ones. One of the first floodless levels. It took me like 7 times to get through it. And I'm showing Snapchats to my Nintendo friends that are good at Nintendo games. They're like, are you serious? This is like one of the first levels. And I'm like, yeah, I already had like 4 game overs on this level alone. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, the floodless levels, they're better. They're more of what Mario is known for, just like some good challenging platforming. But again, if you don't have good controls, they're not going to be all that good. But yes, I had that a ton of times where I'm just like, man, why was that so hard? And the flying sunbird thing, it wasn't difficult. It was just like, I suck. Like, it was just, I suck. And all it did, like, you just have to collect fucking 7 red coins on it while it's flat, and then it does a turn where you have to like land on it sideways, and I just couldn't fucking do it. So that was annoying. That drove me nuts. All the red coin things, I couldn't do it. And also, those red coins were glitching like crazy on that sunbird. Like, they were going through walls, they were going through mountains, they were going through clouds, and I was just like, all right, here, this is fucking lame. And then we get to the part where I finally was like, okay, this is sweet. I get to Penna Island, the awesome theme park, and then you get probably the best boss fight where you're fighting Mecha Bowser on the roller coaster. That was fucking sweet. More of that, please. Like, you're just ripping around, shooting rockets off of the fucking roller coaster on the Mecha Bowser. That was probably my favorite. That might have been my favorite part of the game. That was awesome. Probably the best fight in the game. And then they start to ruin it. They're like, yo, climb up on top of the Ferris wheel. Oh my God, man. Again, another one of those levels. Took me a dozen tries to finally just get through this little simple, should take you 1 minute to get through this platforming section. Proceeded to take me about a half hour of just enraging platforming. Drove me crazy. And another one of those ones, you make one mistake all the way back down to the bottom, do it all over again, only to fuck it up again and again and again and again. And sick, cruel fucking joke on top of that, you get through it, they're like, here's the shine, and they throw it all the way up on top of the Ferris wheel. Like, are you fucking serious? I got to get all the way up there, and I proceeded to fall like 3 more times. Just a fucking nightmare, man. Every star gave me so many problems. And then we get to Noki Bay. So Noki Bay, I love the idea of the eel boss here. You go down there and it opens its mouth and you gotta like clean its teeth. That was a great idea. I was like, okay, now you're using the flood mechanic kind of interestingly, creatively, but the controls again just ruined it. It was so tedious to like try and line Mario up underwater with the flood and then shoot like 12 fucking different teeth and get all the gunk off it. Oh, it just went on way too long. If it was like half that length, half the tediousness, that would have been a really good, fun, creative fight. But no, they had to fuck it up. But other than that, Noki Bay was okay. Another one of those levels where you're climbing upwards and upwards. If you make one mistake, all the way back down, climb all the way back up, and shit like that. Also, in every level, Shadow Mario will show up. That's like one of the stars or shines you'll get. It's like, oh, go chase down Shadow Mario. Those ones are fairly fun. Like, he'll just go on a path in the level and you just gotta chase him down, and it'll actually kind of show you some cool tricks on how to navigate the level. Sometimes you're like, oh, I didn't know I can do a wall jump right here and get up there quicker. Also, the wall jumping is fucking horrific in this game. It's never straight. He's always wall jumping at like a 45-degree angle, and I'm like, what is going on here? But chasing down the Shadow Mario in the level, you just chase him down, shoot him with water, catch him, and yeah, simple, inoffensive, fairly fun. Those were okay. Yeah, Noki Noki was fine. More of a water-based level, and also those boat mechanics. Like, what? You get on the boat and you're using FLUDD to, like, shoot the boat around, and oh man, those controls were fucking rough too. Oh boy, now we get to Pianta Village. I hated Pianta Village. Oh my god. The Goopy Inferno is an incredibly irritating level, man. Oh my god. I had at least 6 game overs trying to work its broken level design. Like, that's the one where you have to go underneath the world. And again, here we are again with the fucking shitty climbing cage section. And again, the terrible confusing controls strike again. I'm falling off of cages. I thought I'd be going up, and just a nightmare. Took me a million times, and that's not even the worst of it, folks. Then we get to the Chuckster Shine. So this one, very legendary. This is the one I knew about. This is the one I saw rage videos of, rage compilation videos of on YouTube. People trying to get through this fucking shine. So, now I will admit, I did not have that bad of a time with it. Definitely not as bad as I've seen on the internet. So what this level is, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to get to. It's underneath the level, and you gotta do all this shitty platforming to finally get to it. That took me like 10 times just to get here, and then I get here and realize I'm like, oh no, it's the Chuckster. And so what it is, you go there, and there's all these little piñata people all over the place, and they will throw you over to another side of the platform, and you have to line it up perfectly. You gotta hope to God that they throw you the right way, and yeah, it's very random. It's not very good. It's not a well-designed level at all. There's a few of them in particular, like, they throw you so far, so hard, it's just like, why? And you have to hope that they throw you into the barrier that stops you. It's a pain in the ass. It's a trial by fire type of shine. You just gotta figure it out. And yeah, the last dude, that's the tricky one to figure out. I found that I had to go all the way over to the left and get him into the middle because he throws you at like a really weird angle. And yeah, it definitely didn't take me as many times as I was expecting it. And I will admit, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. It was actually not horrible. It's still a very bad design level and fucking dumb as hell, but it wasn't as bad for me as it was I've seen for other people. But yeah, I did it, and it was pretty fucking annoying. Absolutely. Actually, I missed one. This one, I think, may be the most tedious of all the shines in the entire video game. Gelato Beach, I actually did the watermelons. I actually did it. I can't believe it. It was so tedious, but I was like, I already committed to like 2 watermelons, and I didn't know that it just kept going. I was like, oh, okay, it's only going to be like 2 watermelons. I can do this. I think it was 4 watermelons, and the gimmick of this, so at Gelato Beach, is this huge beach, and then they have those little fucks all over the beach. They'll run after you, and if they touch you, they'll throw you up in the air, and then you get stuck in this like non-stop getting tossed into the air. They're fucking annoying, and they're all over the place. So one shine, it's just like, hey, we got these watermelons. Go bring the watermelons over here. And you're like, okay. So you go to the other side, and you have to roll this watermelon over, and if it touches anything, if it touches a slither of a tree, if you look at it funny, that watermelon's exploding. You start all over again. And those little fucks all spread across the beach, they all want that watermelon. They want to throw it up in the air and ruin it for you. And yeah, you gotta slowly roll this fucking thing across the beach 3 or 4 different times. The watermelons get bigger each time and further. And the last one is like up top of the mountain. You gotta roll it down I couldn't believe I did it. I could not fucking believe I did it. And trying to roll it along the little fucking dock at the end. Oh my god, dude. It got so close to the water. I couldn't fucking believe I did it, but I did it. And that might have been the most tedious thing I have ever done in my life. I will never do that again. Ever again. But god damn it. So now we get, okay, Pianta Village, it's terrible, I hate it. The Chucksters, we talk about them, alright. Then we get to Serena Beach, the boo fight on the giant roulette wheel. That was pretty cool. I actually liked Serena Beach. That's the one where it's like kind of dusk now, the sun is starting to set, and you get some booze in here, and then you go into the hotel, it's like haunted. It was okay inside the hotel. It's definitely different than the other ones. Some of the stars were okay, like you have to kind of go through the ducts like up in the top and like get into all the rooms that are locked. That was okay. And then there's a little casino back there. I don't think you can really play any casino games, but there's a boo boss fight. That was pretty good on the roulette wheel. You gotta like throw fruit at it or something. That was all right. And then we get to the final fight of the game, the Bowser fight, and it was pretty fucking bad, man. What the fuck was that? So you get there, they're Bowser Jr. and Bowser are in this giant, like, gross hot tub, and all you gotta do is, like, go to 5 different points of the hot tub, do a ground pound, and that's it. That's it. I was like, really? And it was broken as shit, like, whenever you do a ground pound, like the platform underneath starts to break away. I fell through it like 7 times, just instantly died because I just fell through it. Like, I was like, all right, so this is just broken. So it took me a handful of times to get through it finally. And I was just like extremely underwhelmed. I was like, oh wow, that was it, eh? And I mean, most of the Bowser fights, they're not outstanding or anything like that. I feel like the blooper fight was better. There's a couple, or I think that's what it's called. It's like a giant squid dude, and you have to like pull on his little tentacle thingies, then you pull on his face. That boss fight was okay. I mean, they're definitely not the most outstanding boss fights in this game, and just as a whole, it's just not that good of a Mario game. As you could probably tell throughout my experience of this game, I didn't like it very much. I think it's easy for me to say it's my least liked Mario game. Probably close up with those like 3D Mario stuff. I don't like those ones either, but this is a game I will never touch again. No way I'm putting myself through that bullshit ever again. I can't recommend this game for people unless you can find it cheap, which good luck with that. Trying to find Mario Sunshine originally on the GameCube is going to cost you hundreds of dollars. If you want to try and find the 3D All-Star package, that's going to cost you a couple $100. And I'll tell you right now for free, Mario Sunshine ain't worth that price. If you can find it for $20, go ahead. If your friend will let you borrow it, go ahead. It's worth playing it for just to see how fucking bad it is. Like, that's all I can really recommend it. Like, I was of the belief, I was like, it can't be that bad, is it? And it's pretty fucking bad, man. It really is. It does not have that Nintendo shine. It's not polished. It's got good ideas, but you can tell this game needed more time in the oven, and they wanted to give it more time. It's just that people were starting to get antsy with the GameCube, and the GameCube as a whole, like, you know, I know people love it, but it wasn't that successful of a console overall. Compared to the PS2, it's not even fucking close, but you know, yeah, I can't really say that I like this game. We'll go through the things that I did and didn't like. It's pretty obvious what I did and didn't like about this game, but what I didn't like, the controls, the camera, fucking terrible. Mario is a challenge to control. The whole game is just challenging downright to everything. Walking, running, jumping on anything simple, like even just getting into the pipes were annoying. Like the jumps just weren't lining up. So the game is completely off balance in my opinion. It lacks the Nintendo polish. The voice acting is abysmal. Some of the most tedious level designs I have ever had to go through in a platformer, period. Just wow, man, just wow. I was, lacked the creativity, not enough stuff, not enough creative use of FLUDD. FLUDD just kind of in the way, slowing the game down, and yeah. But the things I did like, it's a good-looking game with a good-looking art style. The music is very good. I love the summer vacation theme. I thought they nailed that. It really did feel like a vacation for Mario. They had some good boss fights in there, and there were some good levels. You know, I know people like the non-FLUDD levels. I didn't like them as much because I sucked at them, but they were good. They were fine. Overall, if I had to score this game out of 10 on a scale that I am playing it for the first time in 2024, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. It's getting bonus points for like the Mario charm. Like I said, there's kind of this undescribable feeling that I wanted to keep coming back and trying this game. Rather, my brain was just like, it can't be this bad. I have to keep exploring more of this and try and find the good. And maybe that was it, but I kept coming back to it. I enjoyed it for some reason. Was it the music? Was it the atmosphere? Maybe. I don't know. But all I know is that I was fucking cursing this game out non-stop throughout my entire playthrough of this game. I can definitely, I don't like to use the word hate all that much, but this might be a game that I actually fucking hate. And I'm sorry for people that love this game. I absolutely get it. If you are a kid growing up on this one, I will absolutely understand if you're like, this is my baby. I'm not gonna shit on you for that. It's just not my baby. It's not a good game for today's standards. And it's a Mario game that's gonna go down as like kind of the whoopsie, kind of the what was that about, like maybe too experimental, too rushed. And that's something that Nintendo prides themselves on, not rushing. We look at Tears of the Kingdom, how they spend a whole extra year on that game just polishing it up, and it shows, man. You play Tears of the Kingdom, there's barely a fucking thing out of place, barely a hair out of place on that game. Mario Sunshine, it's like, oh my god, it's so rushed and very, 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 very flawed. But maybe one day they could remake it and really fix it up, because this is not a remake. This 3D package, it's just Mario Sunshine on Switch. There's really, I can't tell if there was anything really updated on it. There's still a lot of fucking broken levels in there and a lot of just shit that doesn't work. But yeah, so there you go, everybody. Hopefully I didn't upset the Nintendo fanboys out there too much. I'm doing my due diligence. I'm trying to love Mario, going back, playing the games that I never finished, and trying my best. There's still, Galaxy is I played most of it but never finished it, so I want to do up Galaxy. I still have a hankering for a little bit of Mario, so I don't know if I'm going to start diving into Galaxy, or maybe I try out a different platformer. I've always been looking at the Rayman games. I played a little bit of that, and they're fucking excellent. So I don't know, maybe I'll try a different platformer. Let me know if there's any really good platformers out there that are nothing like Mario Sunshine, please and thank you. I want a nice, good controlling, well designed platforming video game. That would be great. Mario Sunshine just ain't that for me, but I did like the music and I thought it looked good. So there you go, everybody. That is the episode for today. Thank you so much for listening and watching and all that great stuff that you do. You want to be even more awesome, why don't you hit that little like button, or hit the star rating, or the follow, all that stuff, all those little clicky clicks that you can do that help out the podcast so very much, and that would be awesome. There's also a Twitter page you can follow along with. I put up announcements as best as I can, and YouTube channel, GamerGX Videos. I upload all these episodes over there. Great place for you to drop a comment or a question. You want to have a question answered on the podcast live. I would love to carve out some time for y'all, answer your questions on the podcast. That would be a ton of fun. Just drop a comment, send a message on Twitter. There's an email address, tons of ways to get in contact with the podcast and get involved, be more interactive with it, all that great stuff. That'd be a lot of fun. In terms of what else we got going on this week for the GX Plus cast, we got the wrestling recap will be here, and we got Elimination Chamber. I think that's going down tomorrow, so there will be a extra pay-per-view review for the Elimination Chamber this week as well. Next week's GamerCast, it should be Persona 3 Reload. Get that review out there for you. I should be done with that. And yeah, if you got any suggestions for top 10s, topics you would like me to talk about, throw them at me. You never know. It just might be the next episode you get to listen to. So there you go, everybody. Again, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again with some more GX Plus Cast.